All right, guys, so hopefully you watched my previous videos. I broke down every step that I could into making this cylinder. I have shown you how to center 1.25 pounds. I showed you how to open it up with your thumb or 2 fingers. I showed you how to open the floor to create a consistent bottom and prep you for a cylinder as compared to a bowl. I've also showed you how I throw pull my walls, and I've also showed you how to trim that excess off. Now this next step, final step of this part of the throwing, a lot of people don't realize that they can screw it up here too. Now I normally do not wire my pots while they're on the wheel. I tend to let them set up a little bit, and then I'll go back about an hour and a half, sometimes a few hours, and then I'll go and wire the pot while it's on a table, not necessarily on the wheel. But for this purpose, I'm going to show you guys how I would do it here. A couple of errors that people make is they'll hold their wire tool all the way out here, and they'll think that they can go ahead and have enough control to pull it short towards them. But this is not taut enough. It doesn't have enough sort of strength to really go through. The other thing that people do is when they wire, they'll pull towards them and they'll lift up in the end, and it'll be uneven. Hey, you guys know when I trim my pots, I don't ever trim the bottom where the foot is. I rely on my skill to wire the pot off. Now the other problem here is that it's very narrow here, super wide here, and then narrow here. So as you start with your wire tool narrow, when you pull towards the outside, you're going to end up widening your thumbs a little. But then when you get here, you're not going to have the same tension in your wire tool as you should for the narrow spot. So here's a pro tip. I start with my fingers, thumbs narrow over here. As I start to get wider, I start to open my thumbs up. And then when I'm done with the wide part, I'll start to go in just a little bit to recreate that tension that I had up on the top. You ready? Here we go. Now, do I do it while the wheel's moving? I do not. Only plates. So I'm going to start here, wrap it around. My thumbs are taut around. You don't have to kill your fingers, by the way. So I start here. I start with my thumbs about 4 inches apart. I start to widen up as my pot gets wider to about 5 inches. And then right around here, I drive my thumbs back into the center. So I ended up back even a little more narrow than I did before. What that hopefully did was give me a straight line on the bottom. I hope that helped. See ya.